This is LXBN TV, and I'm Colin O'Keefe. Today we are discussing the state of women in the legal workplace. My guest is Attorney-mediator Victoria Pynchon, author of the She Negotiates blog on Forbes and the Negotiation Law blog on LXBN. Vicky, what are your thoughts on the state of women in the legal workplace? What are you seeing right now?
Well, there's good news and bad news. We're going to get to the bad news. We're going to get to the good news later. The bad news is that after about 25 years of women comprising 50% of the law school students, they have not moved up into leadership position, into equity partnership status, or if they're in equity partnership status, their income is 60% below their male colleagues.
Wow.
So the statistics are in the teens. So women equity partners in the AmLaw 200 hovers around 15–16%, and that's a disappointing number.
Wow, definitely. Yeah, I mean, especially when you look at the women who are becoming lawyers, just not enough able to advance to the leadership positions. And then, though there seems to be, a lot of negatives, are there any positives right now? Is there any silver lining that you're seeing?
Yes, I actually think that 15, 16, 17% is critical mass. In other words, the point at which there are enough people moving in the direction of the transformation of a culture or a society or a workplace to move that number to 50% in a few short years.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch because, again, we definitely have the women who are in the workplace. I interview talented women day in and day out on different subjects on LXBN, women at, firms like Foley & Lardner, large firms like that, who are doing an excellent job. So, and then finally, what advice would you give a young woman working for a large law firm, maybe a young associate just trying to break in at an AmLaw 200 firm? What would you tell her to do right now to really, get on the path towards leadership?
Well, I would tell her to start developing business while she's in law school. So I would tell. Okay, let's just get to the main line. The main line is you must have your own business. And I think for the women of my generation, I graduated from law school in 1980. For the women of my generation, simply being there, occupying the AmLaw 200 law firms, succeeding as much as we could there. Holding on, staying in, not leaving when it seemed to have some differences for men than for women. So I think that we did our job. And this new generation is the generation that is going to close the leadership gap, close the income gap, close the wage gap. Here's what has to happen. The senior women need to be sponsoring the junior women. So let me say what the difference between sponsorship and mentorship is. Sponsorship is when someone puts their skin in your game. So a sponsor is someone who goes to the meeting of the partners where a decision is made to promote you and says, you must promote Vicky to equity partner status this year. That's a sponsor. And you need to know who's going to sponsor you and who is not going to sponsor you. And you do that by observing people's behavior carefully. I can tell you over the course of my career, which was 25 years, that there were people who said they would sponsor me who did not, and I should have known it. Okay? Because they were not political players in the law firm. So pick wisely. So I'd say first, pick your mentors and your sponsors wisely. It's a little bit, for women coming in, it's a little bit like choosing your study partners in law school. So you sit, say, in your small seminar for a week, maybe two, and you get an idea about who's reading, who's smart, who's dedicated, who's working hard, and who's fun. Okay, because if this business is not fun, it's just way too much work not to be doing it. It's way too hard. It's way too challenging. So it should be fun. Yeah. So pick someone fun. Also, fun people are well liked, and they're usually in the power structure in a law firm. Okay, so from day one, pick a sponsor, pick a mentor, begin to set your sights on what your eventual niche will be, what your field will be. Join the bar associations that are those specialties, say the Intellectual Property Bar Association or the Antitrust Bar Association, or more broadly, the Association for Business Trial Attorneys, which is general commercial litigation. And don't just go and network, but go and be a worker among workers. Mm-hmm. Go and pick up a committee assignment. Get to know people. People are moving so fast in this legal environment that even if you're creating an important business and social relationship with lawyers in your firm, they're not going to be in your firm for long. Mm-hmm. They're going to be at another firm, and they're going to remember you.
Yeah.
Okay, and also start cultivating clients. So they're young in-house attorneys. You may not be able to talk to the GC for a while, but you can form a good relationship in which you are service-oriented to a young in-house lawyer who you become the go-to person for. Mm-hmm. Two more suggestions. Do not get on the diversity committee. Do not get on the hiring committee. Those are dead-end committees. I'm sorry. There are people who feel so strongly about diversity, they'll do it. Please don't do it. Get on the finance committee. Get on the committees where you see the power is. Do not waste your time with committees where there is no power. Because as a woman, you're going to have children. You have to be more canny, more savvy, more laser-like in the early decisions that you make than your colleagues.
That makes sense. Well, once again, that was Victoria Pynchon, author of the Forbes blog, She Negotiates. It's at blogs.forbes.com/She Negotiates, and also the Negotiation Law blog on LXBN, which is at negotiationlawblog.com. Then, of course, we have a lot of insight on the subject as well at lxbn.lexblog.com. Thanks, Vicky. Thanks for your time on this. I thought this was great.
Thank you so much, Colin.